fans, welcome back everyone, welcome back to the third round of, no, my apologies, the second round, the third series that we're covering here of Group D of HomeStory Cup 26, and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Italian Terran player, representing Streamer Zone, it is BabyMarine. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the red Zerg player from Finland, representing Basilisk, it is Serral. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is a Gamba time. Predictions are open, place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as of course we have one heavy hitter that is primed to advance on in first place, and that is of course our Terran Kappa, Serral. Serral, of course, is the highest seeded player in the group, and it's going to be difficult here for anyone to really bring him down and put a dent in the armor. I want to believe that some of these players can. I mean, hey, even the previous series between Serral and a Laser was, I mean, there was definitely opportunities there for a Laser as well. He was able to hold his own at times, did go down 0-2, but, you know, didn't look too bad in the process. You know, he was able to hold his own and did have an impressive showing in that ZvT. We'll see if BabyMarine can do something similar here. Best of luck. Best of luck. Again, when it comes to some of the other matches, I believe Hearthstone versus a Laser is currently going on the mainstream. I believe they're covering that PvZ. Likewise, there's also Hearthstone Laser? Yeah, there's Hearthstone Laser. Likewise, there's also Jumi versus Ryung, also ongoing as well. For now, we're settling in. Now it is going to be a Rax Expand, Economic Opener here, or Standard Opener by BabyMarine, moving out with the Reaper. Meanwhile, we do see Serral back at home going for a Hatch Gas Pool. So far, so good. SV's coming in with a Scout. Reaper not too far behind, as it now spawns in. BabyMarine, he does confirm the Hatch timing, is aware that it's looking like a Standard Opener, no early pool. Or no earlier Hatch either. So far, so good. So far, so good. Now, we have seen so far here in today's, even last night's groups as well, that whenever we see a lesser player go up against one of the heavy hitters, we do often see all-ins. We see a lot of all-ins, see a lot of cheese. I'm curious if BabyMarine will do the same, or if he does try to flex his macro against Serral instead. It's possible. It is possible. For now, third CC. Let's go. Third CC before Starport. Economic build here by BabyMarine, working towards the mid-game. At least the mid-game. Now, Ley Lines is not the worst map to go for something like an 8-rack, so we could still see a 3-base all-in from BabyMarine. For now, though, a little bit too early to tell, as we're settling into our 1-1-1. Starport is on the way, add-on swap into Hellion production, should be seeing a Tech Lab into Banshees into Cloak. So a very economic and standard opener out of BabyMarine. Reaper looking for a way in. So far, so good. Serral is keeping up. Serral is zoning away. Now, when it comes to Serral's ZvT, something that we did notice and we did take note of and we saw quite popularized by Serral throughout WTL and EWC as well, is that Serral, he was very fond of roach play in this matchup. Very fond of it. It's a very safe way to play this matchup as well, and it does feel like, especially in the latest patch, that roach play is going to be incentivized that much more in the new patch, in the new meta. We'll see if that's the case here against BabyMarine. Reason why I say that is because queens are a little bit more expensive. You're going to have less queens to defend, and roaches early on, they're just a really secure, safe way to survive the early game, to make sure you minimize losses against Hellions, to maintain yourself getting into the mid game. But we'll see. As for the time being, we do have our initial 100 gas. Things they scatter across the map. Hellions are moving out. Cloak is being researched here with the Banshee. And speaking of roaches, yep, there it is. Roaches are on the way. Again, this is just Serral's go-to. Again, if you were watching Serral at EWC or WTL, the most recent like big events with Serral, he did go roaches every game against Terran. I mentioned this before. This is also why I really appreciate Raynor. Why I really appreciate Raynor in ZvT, because something that was fun about his matches versus Clem is that Raynor did often skip roaches. He would often embrace Ling Bane, something that, again, is more of a rarity nowadays at this level of play. Like, a lot of Zerg players have embraced roach play, whether it's Serral, whether it's Dark, Shin as well. When I think of Ling Bane players, I think more Raynor and Raynor and Solar. So the two that most open embrace it. But now BabyMarine sharking around, looking for a way in. Roach Warren is done. And we should just be seeing a handful of roaches here just to maintain ourselves. This isn't going to be like a big commitment into a roach all-in or anything like that. Just a very safe way to play. So Hellions, they do rotate over towards the third. Serral, his Lings are a little bit out of position. Lings are late to respond. Hellions get behind the mineral line. They roast up a couple of workers, but they will be locked down. 3 drones for the entire Hellion line here. Not quite worth it. That was how many? That was 6 Hellions and 1 Reaper for 3 drones. Ay, ay, ay. Better defense here from Serral. Does defend. Banshees will arrive, but I mean, now there's no Hellions to distract the Queens. I mean, ideally, you do use them in unison. You have the Hellions to distract the Queens to drag them out of position, then the Banshees come in, but now the Hellions are gone, and now it's that much easier to deal with these Banshees. Roach speed is on the way, +1 range, +1 carapace. Now, this usually leads into into potentially +2 range, then into +1 melee, into Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. For now, just Roach Ravager. Into an Infestation Pit. Now, Serral, he can take in a couple of different directions. Either, as I mentioned, he can go Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, into the mid-game, into a more robust army. Or he could try to rush into a Hive and rush into Hydras and then Lurkers. But we have our answer. Bailey Nest. Bailey Nest has been thrown down, so it is going to be a Ling Bane follow-up. Meanwhile, across the map, BabyMarine, he is secure on 3 bases. But Serral, he has successfully been able to drone up to 84. It's insane how much greed Serral got away with. Again, I was a little bit concerned with the Hellion dive because there were no roaches to defend. Despite going for a roach opener, Serral didn't make any roaches whatsoever. He just droned so heavily, and he got away with so much. Again, 80 workers already, and now Serral can focus on producing army. Like, his macro has been insane. Or I should say, the amount of droning that he's been able to get away with is insane. Got away with a lot of droning. And now Serral, just focused purely on roach production. Drops have arrived, but Serral, he has an army to work with now. That window where he was vulnerable has come and gone. It has come and gone. Drop is deflected. Serral massing on more Lings, getting into Baneling speed. Getting into that Ling Bane. And on this trajectory, I mean, it looks like Serral is going to be the first to max. Quite soon. Serral is trying to keep up with the drop play. Banshees do rotate. Hive is done. Adrenal's on the way. Viper production as well. Banshees, they do catch a Queen. 4-1 Banshee, though. BabyMarine moving out with his main army. Taking a 4th base behind this. Again, this is not an 8-Rax. It's not a 3-base all-in. Does engage, but here come the Baileys. Tanks are caught on siege. Yeah, tanks are going down. Most of the Baileys do fall, but it's just pure Marine. There's just not enough here. At the same time, double drop into the main. Serral out of position. Drones could go down, but roaches are not too far behind. They do keep up. Yeah, 1 Queen goes down, but what about the workers? Yeah, they kept safe and sound. They kept alive. The drops are deflected, and Serral's maxed. It's crazy. Again, because of all that droning that Serral got away with, I mean, now he's maxed out here at the 9-minute mark. And defending this low ground 4th base, it's going to be a tough ask for BabyMarine. We'll see if he can pull this off. He will need some SimCity. Bunkers, depots. For now, he's moving out and he's pushing into a maxed out army. Tank is caught on siege. 1 tank goes down instantly. Not like this. Another tank gets surrounded. Serral backs off. It was a strong start for the Zerg. Getting 2 tanks. Marines, they stem in. Ultra Cavern's on the way. So Serral going Ling Bane, Roach Ravager into Ultra. So going for a Ling run by. Moves that across the map. BabyMarine abusing the center base. Does deny mining. Nicely done. Denies mining. Lings, they get across the map. They catch reinforcements. Marines are going down. Ooh, nice snipe on the Viper. The Lings, they shut down the depots, they go further into the natural as well. Decent defense though here from BabyMarine. He doesn't lose many SCVs at all. But his reinforcements are still being caught up. Bathing run by being set up here at the third. And BabyMarine, he is heavily supply blocked. Aye. 5 depots on the way. He's trying to break out of this. It's still supply blocked, by the way. There we go, just now breaking out. Bailey's roll in. They knock down the depot wall. Speaking of getting supply blocked, he's still supply blocked. Not like this. He just wants depots. Leave them alone. Yeah, as the run bys just keep on coming. Links towards the third, towards the fourth, into the natural. Killing more SCVs. And then the main armies clash at the same time. Oh. So far, BabyMarine holding his own. Forcing back the army. Miles they connect. Shut down the lib. Ultras are on the way. 21 SCVs going down, and BabyMarine is just being pulled apart. And just not enough at home to defend. He was committed, and now he's just running out of steam. Again, his move-outs and his engagements, they weren't looking too bad. But there's just no longevity in this army. Not anymore. Another tank falls. BabyMarine, he still has a comparable army, but now the Ultras have been revealed. The Ultras are moving in. Nice target firing though on the Bailings. Very nicely done. Shuts all the Bailings down, but what about the Ultras? One Ultra falls. Wait, who needs Ghosts? I mean, Ghosts are on the way, that will help. Ghosts are in production. Ling run by once again, ensuring no mining here at the third. Slipping into the natural. Burrow is done. So we got a couple more SCVs. Unburrowing once again. We're just waiting for Serral to collapse in. I believe, does he have any Vipers? He does. They're gathering energy. We're waiting for those Vipers. The Ultras, they're not going to wait. They commit. The Bailings head for the planetary. Tank goes down. Ultras, they buy time. The Ultras are going to be cleaned up, but they get the base. The the planetary does fall. GG gets called, and Serral takes game number 1. GG. As he does snowball out of control there. Again, Serral, he just got away with so much droning so early on, and it was never quite punished. It's never quite punished for it. As we are setting up our lobby here for game 2. Un momento. Beautiful. Here we go. But yeah, if you recall, he droned up to 86 in the first, what was it, like 6-7 minutes? Again, that was the moment when BabyMarine, he was trying to harass with Hellions, and there was potential, I want to say, there was potential with that harassment, but he actually committed. He dove into the third base, he dove into the mineral line, he lost everything. Remember, that was before the Banshees arrived. The Banshees, they were lagging behind a little bit, and after one fell, the other just did even less damage, and Serral, he got away with murder, essentially. He got away with so much economy, so much greed, that he snowballed from there. And he was in control from that moment forward, but now we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Basilisk. Leading the series 1-0, it is Serral. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Terran player, the Italian Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. We go. This is also why, if you remember, if you were watching the EWC games, Clem got so good at punishing Serral's greed. Specifically, if you recall, Clem would very often not actually open up 3cc. Clem would often open up 111. What does that mean? That means earlier Hellion aggression, earlier Banshee aggression as well, and Clem was just so good at actually breaking Serral before he could really get into the mid game. As Serral was droning, as he was trying to get away with Queen defense, he would often be punished for it, as he was often skipping lings and skipping roaches and cutting corners. So yeah, that's kind of where Clem really did excel. It was what I was most impressed by at the Esports World Cup. And it's definitely something that you have to be on top of here when you're up against a player of the caliber of Serral, is punishing the greed and staying on top of the economy. And we'll see if BabyMarine can rise to the challenge. We'll see. It's not an easy task whatsoever. For now, hatch gas pool. And again, I expect a similar kind of game state here by Serral, going into a third base, going into a roach warren, droning up, and getting away with greed. We'll see if Serral does change gears and switch things up. I don't expect him to, but we'll keep an eye on Serral. Likewise, at BabyMarine, does he go for something more aggressive? Does he go for another third CC, or does he go for a faster starport instead? Into a heavier Hellion count. For now, Factory's on the way. Reaper moves out. Does move out across the map, hoping to delay the third if at all possible. Drone is in position, and third base gets thrown down. So far, just a clean opener here out of Serral. Gets third, dancing with the Reaper. Queen pops out, and Serral holds. Serral does hold. Once again, BabyMarine, he is going 3cc. That's a third CC before start port. Yeah, there we go. For a moment, I thought I saw a second factory. I was shocked for a moment. But no. 3cc. So the same build as game 1. This should be going into Hellions, into Banshees. And once again, Serral will have the opportunity to go into a heavier drone count and try to get away with cutting workers, sorry, with cutting units, cutting lanes, and cutting roaches. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Getting ahead of ourselves here. But now Starport is on the way. There's our tech lab. That should be for the add-on swap for Banshee production. With this opener, we could also technically see an armory. If BabyMarine wanted to be a little bit more aggressive here, we could see like a variation of a Hellbat push. For now, though, just calming things down. Building up more Hellions. Banshee production has begun. There's the add-on swap. We'll see if he commits into Cloak. Yep, speaking of, there it is. Cloak is on the way. Meanwhile, there's a safety roach run from Serral, as we mentioned. That's kind of what we expect here. Tumor went down, not bad. Does snipe the creep tumor. And hopefully BabyMarine isn't tempted to dive in prematurely again. We just got to calm things down a little bit, just maintain control. And bring it all together. Overlord dives in. Serral, he confirms the third CC into Banshee, into Cloak. Is aware. Rocks are being knocked down. Hellions have a mass. Dancing with the Queens, going for the dive. Oh! He wants one. Doesn't quite get it. Gets a little hisslings. They come in from behind, attempting us around. And the turn backs up. Wants none of that. Goes away, spots the lings. Blair's on the way for Serral. Joining up his third. Still no roach production. Bold move. Relying so far on Ling Queen. BabyMarine, he does throw down extra Raxes, getting up to 5. Getting to a 5 rack setup. I feel like this wouldn't be a bad map for something like an 8 racks. Banshees have Rax. He wants the Queens. He wants them. Does push forward. Clutch Transfuse saves the Queen. But it will still go down. One Queen falls. Lings are coming for a surround, and they will collapse here on the Hellions. Yeah, they're not going to get out. Mass around. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, Serral holds. Now he can drone. Now, this time, Serral did invest into extra Lings. This time, I mean, that was 13 Lings going down. If you remember, previously, Serral, he was on a very light Ling count to drone up that much harder. But Serral, he's already getting up to, yeah, he's getting up to 80. I mean, after killing all those Hellions, there's nothing to stop him. There's nothing to really hold him back. And Serral, he is now up to 78, soon to be 82 drones. Back at home, BabyMarine, he's building up, working on 1-1. Serral already teching, Bailey Nest, Infestation Pits, into Hive Tech. And it does feel like Serral, he's gotten through the worst of it. Like, he's survived and he's gotten into his drone count, his economy. Not just that, but I mean, he has access to the gold, so even a boosted economy. And BabyMarine is taking a fourth. So he's not going for a 3-base hold-in, he's going for a 4th base. Once again, macro game here at a BabyMarine. I mean, I do respect it, definitely. Like, okay, let's go. Wants to take it to the macro game here, but Serral's in a pretty good position here. Is the problem. He's looking quite comfortable. Now focusing on his Ling Bane. Baneling speed is on the way. Lings are amassing. Serral, he needs to knock down these rocks to actually protect the gold. Meanwhile, BabyMarine coming in for a double drop. Roaches are keeping up. And Queens as well. Drop is deflected. Throwing out more rocks. Again, so important here that he does gain access to the center area. Not just to protect his base, but also to try to punish the base of BabyMarine. If he does go for the gold. Meanwhile, BabyMarine going for a split push. Double jump towards the north, and double jump towards the south. We'll see if we can pull Serral apart. Serral's still droning. Jeez. Jesus. Okay. Still droning up. Again, Serral, he's ready for this. The gold. What's the pickup? BabyMarine going for his own. Well, that's what the Queens, Roaches, and Ravagers are going to be for. Hive is done. Viper's already on the way. And Serral, he's about to max out. He's about to max. He spots the expansion. He's getting ready. More Ravagers morphing in. I mean, he does threaten the stim. Sees the army. Serral ready for a run-by. Upgrades are on the way. I guess the one upside here for BabyMarine is that the melee upgrades are going to be delayed here for Serral because of the Roach Opener. Hydrogen on the way. Okay. Not Ultras this time. Headed towards Hydras and Lurkers as well instead. Now those rocks, the Vipers have arrived, going for the tanks. He gets both. Yeah, both tanks go down. Army gets cleaned up. Mining is delayed. Got a strong start for Serral. He is maxed. Lings coming from behind. If you're curious, the reason why Serral had to break down those rocks himself is because the creep was keeping them alive. As a heads up, if you spread creep here, you can save those massive tumors. Can save them. Ooh, oh my god! 7 SCV kills, late to react, late to respond. Oh my god. Another tank falls. Serral even dragging the Banshees into the Spore. Lurker Den's on the way. Serral getting ready for that Lurker tech.
Sequences spun, swarm mutated.
Another tank. Fire army rotates around. There's no tank support. Has to pull back. Nice power bomb. Nice splits here from BabyMarine. Does pull away. Does pull away in time. BabyMarine, he's about to max out himself. He's holding on, where he's holding his own. There's another tank. And we're waiting for that eventual Hydro Lurker switch. He's getting there. BabyMarine taking a 4th, or 5th even. Serral snipes a Liberator. Has yet to knock down those rocks. Rotating around instead. BabyMarine does get a base. Not bad. Gets an expansion. He's got some Marines. Not a bad trade here for the Terran. As tanks start getting picked up. 2 tanks on the lid. Nice snipes though. And again, even though BabyMarine has kind of in a way stumbled his way into the mid game, he's here. He's maxing out. Getting into Ghost production. And really, BabyMarine, he's hoping for Serral to overextend into him. That's why we're seeing, you know, these wall-offs. These planetaries, these siege lines. Babies roll in. The Ghost! Oh my god. Massive connections. That was how many? That was 3 Ghosts going down. Again, Serral can afford these trades. Serral building up his bank, taking the fringe expansions, rotating over. I mean, you can also see how difficult it is to actually break these fringe bases from the Terran side. Like Serral, he just can't really break in, but he can deny any further expansions, which is going to be a bigger problem here. Yo, let's go. Frenzy on the way. Researching lunge. Oh god. Oh god. Serral just freeing up supply. He's got too many queens. Feels bad, man. Link Bane rolling in. Down these depots. Going for the tank. Tank goes down. Production under fire. Snipes the factory just barely towards the end. BabyMarine, though, he's still holding. It's supply block, but it's okay. Copian. As he's at least looking quite secure here towards the south. I mean, I say that, the tanks are exposed. Where are the Marines? Where's the bio? The tanks are going down. Bailey's going to rush in towards the planetary. They get behind it. It's the mineral line. Planetary will go down. And BabyMarine is going to be stuck on 4 bases. The 5th is denied. And again, that's the win condition here for Serral. Deny any bases and take down the fringe base as well. Starve BabyMarine out. BabyMarine, he has a mineral bank, but less so a gas bank. That's all that Serral needs to do, outside of just maintaining his own expansions. Dives in, he gets it. Oh no! Gets us around! The Ghost out of position. Ay, ay, ay. That was what, 8 Ghosts falling. The tanks as well. BabyMarine here overextends. I'm afraid to look. That was 10 Ghosts. Oh, it's Serral's turn to throw away his spellcasters. Unfortunately, he didn't have 10 Vipers. Unfortunately. So not the most even of trades, but a trade nonetheless. As Link rolls in. Going for the bases, going for the planetary. And we'll take down another 12 SCVs. Meanwhile, Mineral is exposed. We'll get away. Oh! Barred Bailings! Bailings pop up. And BabyMarine is just being pulled apart. Massive connections. Another Ghost goes down. And what's scary here is that Serral can just do that again. He can just remax, do that again and again and again. And just make sure that BabyMarine cannot mine through that expansion. Heavily oversaturated. Nothing here at the 5th. Nice mine shot. Does connect. So he breaks through nonetheless. Doesn't even matter. Takes out all the tanks. Okay, does pull away from the high ground. Does pull away. Going for the CC. Does get it. Oh no! Not again. Don't donate the Vipers. Okay, so at least saves him this time. He pulls away. Let's go. Saves the Vipers. Both players are maxed out, but one is not quite like the other. Serral has a bank. Taking every base on the map. BabyMarine knows. Serral dives in. Nice spread here with the Link Bane. He collapses on the army. Takes out the CC once again. Going for the mineral line, and there's no escape. Not this time. Army gets zoned back. And all these SCVs are falling. GG gets called, and Serral snowballs out of control, taking the series 2-0, taking down BabyMarine. GG. GG, well played here. Shout out to BabyMarine though. Again, what I was curious about coming into the series was whether or not BabyMarine would be more aggressive and more assertive and go for these all-ins. Alas, that is not what we saw. We saw BabyMarine both in game 1 and in game 2 go for the macro game, go for some more standard setups here instead. Did try to hold his own against Serral, and there were definitely some moments here and there, but for the most part, Serral, he was in control of these games. Both in game 1 and in game 2, Serral, he was able to drone up past 80, up to 86 plus workers, and once he got into that economy, I mean, he just had map control. He had map control. We saw that BabyMarine, for the most part, he was just stuck at home defending time and time again, and never really had the freedom to move out and be active on the map and really threaten the bases of Serral. Like, ideally, I mean, these fringe bases that Serral was expanding to, ideally you do want some pressure there, but because Serral just had so much map control, it just never really let that happen, as it was just constantly in BabyMarine's face. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Serral, he will claim the series, and now we are getting ready for what comes next. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's quickly refresh and figure out where we are. Here